enthusiastic boxing crowd, we begin to get some of the answers. Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson is a student of history. He well knows that all of the great heavyweight champions, with the sole exception of Rocky Marciano, have lost at one time or another. How much consolation is that to him?
Well, if there's any guy that doesn't need motivation, it's Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is like a walking boxing library. I mean, he knows about these guys' history. He knows how many guys have regained their titles. So Mike Tyson wants to be in there with that elite group. So I'm sure he's already motivated for that.
He's also one of the most entertaining figures in sport, regardless of whether you like him or not. Because Mike Tyson's life is so densely rich with circumstances and events that it's become our custom between each of his appearances in the ring to chronologue those battles he takes on outside the ring. The period between February 10 and now has only continued the tradition. February 10, 1990. For fight fans, a night to remember. For one fighter, a night to forget. Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson. The challenger, James Buster Douglas. Another right hand, and now Tyson seems to be wobbling. Mike is not throwing back. Buster Douglas is completely dominating this round with jabs and right crosses.
I wasn't focused on the fight. I didn't apply myself.
And there's a right hand uppercut, and down goes Douglas. And suddenly is that.
Can he beat the count?
He got a little overconfident.
As far as the count was concerned, I thought definitely that the fight was over.
Oh, the uppercut.
What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
It's over. It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out. Let's go ahead and call it the biggest upset in the history of heavyweight championship fights.
In the beginning, you have so much life, you have so much to give to the world, you have so much to offer, and you want to offer to everyone, you want to show and prove. And then after a while, you know what I mean, you take it for granted, and everything, you try to do everything instinctively, and then you slip.
The heavyweight championship was lost, or wasn't. 45 minutes after the official decision in Tokyo, there was controversy over the 8th round knockdown of Douglas. The WBA and WBC withheld their recognition of Douglas. Finally, in New York, Mike Tyson conceded the loss of his titles.
I never considered myself a poor loser because I didn't protest. I just gave my opinion on the incident I saw on television. Titles are meant to be won and they're meant to be lost. These things happen.
Shortly after, Mike Tyson went back to the Catskills, to the home where Customado had once taken him in.
I never thought about the fight once I was home. Never ever thought about it. But I was just not in the mood to hear like, how you doing? Are you okay? Can I do anything for you? No, you can't do a goddamn thing for me. I'm just over here relaxing. I don't want any company.
Then isolation turned to despair. On February 21, the former champion was back in New York. His sister Denise had died of a sudden heart attack at age 25.
As soon as the fight was over, I hung out with my sister. That's all I was doing. I was hanging out with my sister. Nothing's important in life. Wealth, only thing that's important is health. Everything else is an addition.
After the funeral, Mike Tyson was whisked away to Las Vegas. There he lived a Spartan existence, leaving his home only for 2 hours a day at the Golden Gloves gym. No press, no writers, no public viewing of his workouts. As fight time neared, the door was opened, but in mid-May, the door was slammed shut.
I'm just telling you, no way. Okay? All right.
I didn't go into isolation. Like somebody said, we're not hearing much of you lately. I was like that before. You didn't hear much. You just blew it out of proportion.
The ex-champion surfaced at 2 multimedia news conferences in New York and Los Angeles. He seemed a kinder, gentler Mike Tyson.
That was a good moment to grab excuse. I got a lot of money to spend before I kill myself. I was 100 to 1 to get my ass kicked, not off. We create our own stories, regardless of what it is. Even if we're not looking for it, we create our own monsters. You know what I mean? I create the guy that likes, to go in there and beat up people and whatever. They take that concept and they put it in a whole different meaning of life. And that's because what I created.
Finally, it was back to Las Vegas, where he was reunited with girlfriend Natalie Fears and a newborn son named D'Amato.
My first priority is him. People say having a baby, it mellows you out. You get goofy every now and then, you see the baby. Yeah. Other than that, when you're not around them, it's just totally, you just think about them a lot. That's all I do, I always think about them.
But the fighter's mind is also on boxing. Another late development was the hiring of Rich Giacchetti, longtime trainer of Larry Holmes. Some said it was a reaction to the corner work in Tyson Douglas. The ex-champion disagreed.
Everyone's a critic. Whatever went wrong is because of me. You know what I mean? And that's what I keep my, because when it goes right, I always say it's because of me it went right. And regardless if you have the best quarterman in the world, if you can't fight, it's useless.
Many great heavyweight champions have lost the title. A precious few have fought their way back to the top. Mike Tyson likes to quote reggae singer Ziggy Marley, who said, "You don't realize you're making history because you're living it."
And here is one piece of history. When last Mike Tyson and Henry Tillman met here at Caesar's Palace in the indoor arena 6 years ago, it was to determine who would go to the Olympic Games. Tillman won that trip. Tyson earned a trip back to the Catskills compound of Customato. So much has changed since then. Now they prepare to meet under entirely different circumstances. As HBO Sports brings you the second of our heavyweight doubleheader on this evening, Mike Tyson against Henry Tillman, in a bout scheduled for 10 rounds.